Hi. Happy almost new moon in Libra. It's a weird time in the world, isn't it? If you would like to get started with me, it's going to be best if you take out like a notebook, something to write with, and if you want to get your notes ready ahead of time, we have four questions and an extra credit question that will lead us to our statement of intention. So, on a piece of paper, one, mirror of justice, skip a couple lines. Two, reconnecting the root, skip a couple lines. Karmic blessings, skip a couple lines. And then your fourth question is going to be Libra themes, DECAN themes, and house themes. Okay, so if you want to put Libra themes, you can put that down there. And then you'll want a section for your statement of intention. Okay. All right. So hopefully you have your notes settled. Um, this new moon in Libra to me feels like there is a really big blessing at the end of the horizon that we're going to be walking towards for the next 9 years. All right, the best way to describe this energy is new karmic steps. Okay, think of it like there's gates of a playground, like going out to recess with your friends, and there's some unwritten rules that you might not know about. However, if you're aware and conscious, you will be able to walk more quickly than you will if you are not aware of the unwritten rules. If that doesn't make sense, I'm sorry. I understand. It's our world is in a very weird place right now, and you have to be careful about how you put things in this moment. Um, and as much as I would like to be just full out brazen, and I will be, right? In the ways that feel safest to me, but my account on this place was just suspended. And even though I've been paying for support from this website, I unfortunately am not receiving it. So I think to put it the quietest way that I can, watch what people do. Their actions tell you who they prioritize. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. So, this new moon is going to be happening on October 21st. It is a new moon, and it's happening if you are on the Pacific coast with me. It's happening at 5:25 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you're on the East Coast, it is going to be happening at 8:25 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And this lunation, exactation, is going to be happening at 28 degrees, 22 minutes in Libra. And some people say 22 minutes and some people say 23. But to me, that's less of a critical detail than the actual degree. So if you need the slide, you can stay here, but I feel like we're all ready to answer our first question of the day. Um, as we get into this, let's take a look at the bottom of this slide. Exactation is happening on Wednesday, the 21st. Of course, this window is going to be open to us from Sunday through Saturday. As of October 18th, this window is opening to us, and it will close on the 24th. So after the 24th on Saturday, that window will begin to wane. So that is when this energy is going to be most potent. Now, this energy is already potent because I have already been affected by this specific energy. We'll get into it later, but it's really big. And here's an example of why this energy is as large and as loud as it is. If you look at when the window is opening on 10/18, we have another really big thing happening on the 18th. It's the same reason why I got off of. So, I'm just not going to tell you right now, but anything that I mentioned that doesn't make sense, that's where I'm going to put all of the information, okay? You can find it all right there. So let's go ahead and answer this very first question. This first question is your mirror of injustice question. Mirror of injustice. And the question is, what injustice in your personal life is reflected globally in your human experience? So as a human sharing this timeline and this journey of life with me right now, what is an injustice, an unfairness that you see in your personal life that might also be reflected in the global world around us? Okay. So we're taking a look at what it is that is causing injustice in the world, first for you personally, and then, of course, globally as well, because that is mirrored. Go ahead and take a few minutes with this question, sit on this, and then we're going to move past. All right, if you need this slide longer, you can go ahead and stay right here and contemplate longer by pausing. Otherwise, move forward with me. We're going to quickly, again, review our moon information. So if you feel like you don't need that, you can skip this section. I always put chapters in the description, but we're just going to go through it quickly. If you want more of this information, you can find more detailed lesson work in my previous moon videos. I usually talk about the moon cycles during the new moon videos. Okay, so let's talk about what we're seeing in the sky. So where we just were, we had a full moon in Aries. That's when we did the little candle, the fire scrying. This was a time of illumination and shedding and release. This was also the first full moon in Aries that we have had since we had eclipses in Aries. So it was a really potent moon. So this cycle that I'm in right now is about cyclical change, thinking about how everything moves in a cycle. So it's a really good time for like reflection on what is lapping you in your environment, if that makes sense. Now, as we head towards the 21st, we are going to be getting that new moon. And of course, that is about beginnings, setting intentions, growth, taking baby steps, transformation. Usually during this time, there is something that is hidden from you, meaning that it is in shadow. That's okay. It's supposed to happen. Otherwise, you wouldn't be behaving as you are. Usually that has to do with, do you still take the steps you're supposed to take, even if you can't fully see everything you expect to see? We, of course, go through all of these. So it's not just the new moon and the full moon that are important. There's thinking and learning and energy moving us throughout the entire cycle of the moon's phases. And really, we move between all of the phases of the moon, but it's more like a circle, right? It's more like a cycle because in reality, the earth would be here, right? And this is just like the pattern that the moon has taken over time. This moon that we are in is the dark moon. So it is for sitting in darkness and listening, cleansing, releasing, banishing, preparing for the new beginning. Specifically for us, listening and setting intention are the things that we are going to be working on today. And as I mentioned, we were just in Aries, and now we are in Libra. So let's quickly look over here for a moment. I'm going to review this information before we get the last of our eclipse questions until next eclipse season. So if you were with me during my previous eclipse videos, we talked about how the axis of our healing, so the themes that we work on, is shifting. So it was in Libra and Aries from early 2023 through early 2025, and now it is switched to being in Virgo and Pisces. This switch happened in September of 2025, and it will continue through February of 2027. So we're just in the beginning of this healing cycle. And we talked last time about like the foreshadowing that we got when we were starting to leave that Libra axis and Aries axis. So now let's take a look at more closely at Libra. So I'm going to start us on these questions. You can put them wherever you want, my love, but if you want to keep things organized, I encouraged everybody to take a moment and really pre-plan your eclipse reflection, because then you'll have all of those notes in front of you for when we get into more deep into this eclipse healing access. But you can put them wherever you want, babe. It's just going to be easier to find if you keep them together, right? Okay. So, what new steps did you take around October 2nd, 2024? But you really want to look at the surrounding days, just like we do when we do moon circle, is we look at the 3 days before and the 3 days after. Okay, so on October 2nd, I was doing like fire play. I was hosting a show. And I was getting my passport photos done, and I had an experience at the strip club where I experienced. And yeah, at a club that I don't work at any longer, but so that was like a lot of things. All right, and then what area of life does Libra light up in my life? We're going to answer this today. For me, I will tell you right now, even though we're going to look at it in a few moments, but my Libra houses are the first house and the second house. And we'll look at the themes when we get to that slide, but they light up my first and second. So if you have your chart in front of you, just write the houses down. You don't need to do more than that right now. And then the last question for your eclipse page is, what steps are you being encouraged to continue in strides? So not just like baby steps, but maybe you see them, you know that you're supposed to be going, so you can take those steps more confidently and with a wider stride. Okay. You don't need to be as tentative as you've been before. So whatever those things are, go ahead and write those down. Right. If you need this slide longer, go ahead and stay here. Otherwise, let's go forward. It is now at this time that we are going to light our candle. All right, go ahead and collect our energy with breath. Go ahead and empty every last breath and moment of air from your lungs. And then take in the deepest breath you've taken all day. And release big, heavy sigh. Ah. All right. Let's go ahead and light this candle. We're going to go ahead and take one more deep breath together. Go ahead and breathe in. And breathe out. May the guidance that we receive today encourage us to take bigger strides. All right, now that we have our candle lit, we've set a little intention for our time as we continue into these next couple of questions. Let's go ahead and move forward. All right, so we're going to practice guided breathing today. We're going to do it with each question. So we have two more questions. We're going to do a nice guided breathing through the first question as we listen, and then we're going to do that through the second question. So all we're going to be doing is just like I've done with you before. We're going to take time to, just like we did when we lit the candle, we're going to be taking some breath together. And while you're breathing, just concentrating on the question that is presented. So now that you have the directions, let's go ahead and get to the questions. So this is our second question, reconnecting the root. And the question is, in my relationship with myself, so not with anybody else, don't think about other people, just think about the relationship that you have with yourself. Within that relationship with self, how can you be a better partner to yourself and your needs? So considering yourself like you would a partner, how can you be a better partner to you and the needs that you have? Okay. When you get a second, go ahead and close your eyes. And we are going to be concentrating on this question today. So, in my relationship with myself, how can I be a better partner to me and meet my own needs? Go ahead and take a deep breath wherever it is that you are in your breathing pattern. And release. When you get to the bottom, go ahead and hold for a moment in silence. And breathe in for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. And release. Hold. Breathe in. Hold. And release for 3, 2, 1. Hold. Final breath. Go ahead and breathe in. Hold. And release. Go ahead and take a moment and finish the answer to your question. All right, if you need this slide longer, go ahead and stay right here. Otherwise, if you're ready, move on to me to our next question, which is karmic blessing. So this question, I want you to think about what is due to you that you know you must wait for the universe to deliver. So it's usually something that you know that you want or that you know would make your life just so much easier. Think of that as the thing that I mentioned earlier is at the horizon. So that thing is on the horizon waiting for you. And the next 9 years is going to be walking towards that horizon. So as you are sitting here in the present, what is it that you know is on the horizon, that you know is going to be delivered to you, but that you know you have to wait, you have to journey towards? We're in another round of box breathing. So when you are ready, go ahead and take a deep breath in and release. When you get to the bottom, hold. Breathe in. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. And release. 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe in. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. And release. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. Breathe in. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. And release. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. Last breath. Breathe in. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. And release. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and finish this question. What is due to you that you know you must wait for the universe to deliver? If you need the slide longer, you can go ahead and stay here. Otherwise, you can go ahead and move forward with me. Let's talk about the themes. So this new moon is going to be in the sign of Libra. So I'm going to go over these themes for people who are listening and don't have the words in front of them. So some different themes that have to do with Libra are justice and the scales, equality, equilibrium, balance, conflict resolution, harmony, beauty, relationships and partnerships, people pleasing, love, and the planet Venus is connected here, connection with others, the living and the dead, deep discernment, often before taking action, indecisiveness, impartial and objective, peace, innocence, gentleness, and grace, and revenge, karmic returns. We're going to talk about a couple of these. For example, justice in the scales and karmic returns. So these have some connections to the Roman goddess and the Greek goddess of justice, Astre and Themis. We also have some connections to, we'll talk about that when we get to the decan. So I want to also mention people pleasing and revenge. So with Libra, while it is really in their nature to really be a peacemaker, something that's really connected to the sign of Libra is cycles, or I should say, bringing order to chaos. So what that looks like is often when you're going through something that feels unjust, usually it's happening for a reason. And soon the karmic returns will help bring order to what was once chaos. Another thing I wanted to mention here is deep discernment. Libra always wants to be balanced in their thinking. They always want to avoid conflict. And if there is conflict, to bring resolution to it. So with deep discernment, oftentimes Libra really spends a lot of time really deeply thinking in decision making because they don't want to make an action that might harm somebody or not be in line with what is important for karma to be balanced. So go ahead and take a few moments to write down any themes here that are really resonating for you. If you need the slide longer, you can go ahead and stay here. Otherwise, let's go ahead and move forward to talk about the decan, because I'm really excited about where this new moon is taking place. All right, so this new moon is happening at 28 degrees and 22 minutes in the sign of Libra. This is the third decan. So if you've been watching the moon videos frequently, then you know that there are 30 degrees in each of the signs on our wheel. So this is taking place almost at the very end of Libra. Why is that important? We have just had eclipses in the signs of Aries and Libra, and now we're getting this beautiful supermoon without that eclipse energy, without that chaos energy. So we get this really fun opportunity to really bring order to our world, if that makes sense right now as you're watching. Again, it's October 13th, 2025 as I'm recording this. So of course, with Libra, Venus is connected here because Libra is connected to Venus, but the specific decan is connected to the planets Mercury and Jupiter. That gives us a Gemini triplicity. And let's talk about what that means. So because we have this Gemini triplicity, right, we get right here, if you're looking, these are the decan themes that are coming up. So we have mirror of the world's shadows, meaning that what is happening in our world is reflecting what's also happening in the shadows of the world. So it's not just happening in our lives, it's happening within the collective. Connected here is also helping outcasts. Think about people who are considered outcasts in our world, right? And what we can do to help those people. This is the time to be thinking about that. However, be cautious because oftentimes in that third decan, there is a fine line because when you're helping outcasts, you often become the outcast in the process. So protect yourself as you are trying to help people in this like really uncertain time that we're in. Connected here also is the guidance to take rest. We have the Four of Swords. The Four of Swords literally is somebody that looks like they are in a coffin with four swords at each of the corners, meaning literally take rest. Shavasana, breathe in, breathe out, and rest. You will need it because we have a long 9 years ahead of us of walking towards that horizon. Don't forget to rest, especially mental rest is so important here. The third decan, purifying the earth is important. So there's like a warning here as well. Think about this word. I'm going to put it in post. This word is a fine line, right? Purify the earth could mean to bring goodness to the earth, right? Or it could mean, I think that we are better than everybody and we must purify the earth. So there's a danger there to be aware of. Also here, natural talent. The third decan of Libra brings a lot of natural talent. So whatever it is that you want to do, you should have the skills and the knowledge and the talent to do so. And here you also have brilliant light intellect, meaning that you might have all of this like knowledge and you might have all of this knowledge and understanding and also be interested in shadow work. So it's going to be about balancing those. And again, purifying the earth, right? Bringing that awareness and consciousness, but not bypassing anybody, not ignoring that there's value in the shadows. And then a big important note to have here is the goddess Nemesis, which is the distributor of fortune. Copic gives us this great idea of how the goddess Nemesis in Greek mythology, who is represented in the constellation of Libra, is the restoration of balance to life's chaotic wheel. Obviously, as we have seen over this past year, there's a lot of chaos in our world right now. And this new moon in Libra is bringing an opportunity to restore balance to what feels chaotic. And again, I put at the bottom caution through synchronicity. A problematic concept that is obviously affecting our world right now. We're seeing it all over the globe, and I think there's a reason for that. So this, again, is a really good time to bring order or to bring restoration to what feels chaotic, right? I mean, I woke up this morning and I was like, I don't even recognize the world. It's changing so fast. So, um, don't forget to rest and take the opportunity to restore balance. Your voice is important. Take a few moments, write down anything here that is really resonating for you. All right, if you need this slide longer, you can go ahead and stay here. Otherwise, please move forward with me because we are going to be zooming in. So if you have your natal chart, you're going to go look for this sign right here, the sign of Libra. This is, of course, my chart right here. And if you don't have a chart, but you want to make one, I'm going to link a couple of places below where you can make your own chart for free. And in my chart, Libra is right here. So as you notice, it's spanning the first house and most of the second house. So wherever Libra is in your house, or sorry, wherever Libra is in your chart, just make a note of what houses. Right here, we have the first house through the sixth house. So whatever house is Libra is coming and lighting up in your life, go ahead and just note whatever themes are coming up here. If you need this slide longer, you can stay here. Otherwise, these are the houses for the seventh through the 12th house. So write down again whatever themes here are resonating for you. And if you need this slide longer, you can stay here. Otherwise, let's put the puzzle pieces together so we can continue with the chaos of life, right? So here's the celestial connection. So this is what you should have on your page. You should have an answer for mirror of injustice. What injustice in your personal life is reflected globally in your human experience? Reconnecting the root in my relationship with myself. How can I be a better partner to me and my needs? Karmic blessing. What is due to you that you know you must wait for the universe to deliver? And then finally, the Libra themes, houses, and DECAN themes. Just right there, whatever is emerging for you as important, you should have a few things written there that you can choose from. And if you need that slide longer, you can stay here. Otherwise, let's write our intention. So if you've been here before, you know the deal. All of the different question types, all of your answers go in the blanks below. So go ahead, take a few moments, fill that out, and then I'll read mine and we'll close up. All right, I have my statement written down, so I'm going to read it for you, and then we're going to close up. So if you are not ready to hear mine, pause it. Otherwise, here is my reflection to intention statement. During this current time of uncertainty, I recognize that being silenced is blocking me from moving forward. I see that in this time of transition, in the areas of balancing values, identity, and finances in my life, I must be a partner to myself by journaling and being patient for peace and financial security, as I know it is worth the wait. In the meantime, I must take strides in mobilizing myself and my art in new ways. Before I move on from this, I want to talk about that as you get to this slide. This fifth question is coming from this slide. So you're looking for this answer. What steps are you being encouraged to continue in strides over the next 9 years? That is the answer that you are putting right there. So, please, as always, if you have your intention already written out and you would like to share, I would love to hear it. Please put it below. I would love to know what you are intending to do over the next 9 years alongside me. And if you need this slide longer, you can stay here as long as you need, my love. Otherwise, come forward with me. We are having a full moon next month, and I want to tell you when it is so you can mark your calendar. This is going to be a super full moon in the sign of Taurus. So, this is to me a really exciting moon. Full moons in Taurus are always really fun. So, please come join us. If you're in San Diego, we will, of course, be burning and doing a fire burn release over at the beach. So please come join us. And please also notice what date the super full moon is on. It's happening on November 5th. Remember, remember, the 5th of November. You're amazing and I love you. I hope you're having a great day wherever it is that you are. Your voice is important and it matters. Speak up. Do what you can to help move us all forward to a timeline that is filled with a lot more love. I love you all. Thank you for being here. Bye.